Okay, so Friday, 2nd of February 2024. So in business, your clients aren't your friends. That's something I kind of realised maybe like a year or so ago, where I just realised that no matter, first and foremost, it's business. So it's all down to money. It's all down to just logic, money, and if the decision makes sense. Working with someone, a client, for a short period of time or a long period of time, doesn't necessarily imply or mean there's going to be any friendship there. It's all just business. You have one common goal together, they need something, and you can provide that product or service, and that's it. The relationship that's as far as it goes in terms of this and that, transactional. It's ultimately a transactional situation and transactional relationship, so to speak. And to assume that just because you see them on a regular basis, you're in touch with them all the time, once a week, a few times a day, a few times a week, it doesn't mean that they're going to be friends. You can be friendly, they can be friendly and polite and jovial and kind and whatever else, but they're not friends. No. It's almost like there's this thick barrier that takes a lot of going through it. It takes a lot to go from one side, from pure business client to a friend. And because it starts off in a transactional scenario, i.e. business, to go into a friend is very difficult. But you can meet other people and they can be purely on a friend side and never go that side as well. They can be purely on this side from day one and people purely on this side from day one as well. But to cross that barrier is very difficult. And if you do, relations change. Things get complicated, very much so. Because I've noticed that some of the clients, I'll be on a friendly terms with them and then they'll just leave. They'll just leave. Now, I understand it's business. You know, they're there for a certain task, in and out, that's it. But at the same time, it's like, wow, I didn't view it that way. Perhaps when I started in this context of this business that I'm talking about, perhaps when I started as a bit more naive and thinking, it's much more social, not so professional, or not so much professionalism is needed, things like that. But that's what I've noticed. And I noticed that it's all just business, all a transaction, in and out, an hour, 50 minutes, 40 minutes per client. We have tasks to do, objectives to achieve and accomplish, homework to sort out, things to do, and that's it. Tick the boxes, progress has been made, okay, move on. Here's the task for next lesson, here's the calendar for when I'm available, done, move on. It's very, very logical and it's binary in that way as well. It's just in and out, very much so. Focused and in and out. So the clients aren't really your friends. No. And I think to assume so, or to start feeling that, you're setting yourself up not necessarily for failure, but you're creating the wrong kind of conditions, inefficient conditions, or a situation where emotions can be introduced, or things can get muddled, things can get blurred. And you have to be very careful when you enter that kind of world. You're very careful what happens next, because then you're entering the realm of emotions. And to mix logic and emotions, I realised years ago, is dangerous, a dangerous mix. Okay, this is all pure logic, and that's it. And in the realms of friends, we have emotions. And to mix those two, logic and emotions, in any scenario or context, can be quite dangerous. It leads to mistakes, leads to problems, big problems. And just be careful with that. In terms of human relations, diplomacy, getting along with people, got to be careful with that, mixing emotions and logic. I'm not saying we have to be overly emotional to people or overly logical to people, but that very fine balance of how to handle a client or a friend, more logic is needed over here, more emotions are needed over here, more friendly atmosphere, and a more professional atmosphere is needed here and there. And I think to recognise when to be unprofessional and professional is damn important in business. Makes sense, of course. So if be careful and understand that not everyone is our friend. Not everyone wants to be our friend either. Not everyone deserves to be our friend. I've had some clients that I would not like them as a friend at all. And I've had some clients that would be amazing as a friend. But, life is purely transactional, in and out. That's it. Yeah, so it's amazing. And it's like people would use you. But use you in a professional way. You're there to provide a service, and they're accepting and paying for that service, and that's it. No more. So you could say, oh, they're using me. Yes, but That's what you agreed to. That's the contract you proposed in the first place, or that they proposed, and you agreed to it. There we are. So you could feel that, but you're getting paid for it, so it's not all that bad. So this is something I realised a year ago. It just slowly clicked on me, it just dawned on me, and I remember talking about this with one client, just in general. He's in a professional setting, and he was a lot older than me, and I just said it to him in general, because he has his own company as well. So I just casually mentioned this, and it was just an interesting little observation, and he generally agreed, and just generally left it at that. Yeah, he agreed and didn't go and he said, be careful of these things because problems. And again, he's a very logical person as well, so I think he understood the scenario. It wasn't a dilemma I was facing, but it was an interesting observation that I had. Very important. Again, observing and watching and seeing these things. And as I said recently, the more stuff we do, the more we learn. So this is one observation that I had with regards to the clients. Not everyone will see you as a friend, which makes sense. There's billions of people. There's some that are going to absolutely hate you, and some that are actually absolutely going to love you, and loads in the middle. Makes sense. But a client is not a friend. That's something I've realised. I wouldn't say so much the hard way. The slow way, definitely, but not the hard way. No fingers have been burnt, but it's interesting. I want to keep that fine line very clear between friends and business. Very important. Yeah. So that's life, isn't it? Yeah. So otherwise, you will see me tomorrow.